Hi, this is Molly Ramirez, Director of Marketing and Communications at the Lubbock Symphony. Thank you for tuning into the ClefNotes podcast today, the podcast that gives you insight into the orchestra office here in Lubbock, Texas. Our special guest today, who I guess you could say is a special guest who joined y'all last week, is Nia Threatt. Welcome, Nia.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, Nia is our Patreon Services Coordinator over at the Lubbock Symphony, and we're going to talk with her today about what her role entails because I think she holds a very special role at the symphony where she's almost the liaison between multiple departments. But before we get into that, I wanted to share with y'all some of the things we have happening on the horizon at the symphony. First one being we have Lubbock Youth Orchestra auditions happening now. July 12th and 19th are the last 2 days to audition. Go to LubbockYouthOrchestras.org to learn more about that. We ask that those who audition have at least a year of experience playing. So it's a really easy audition requirement. If you go to our website and find out more information, we'd love to have your children, or if you know somebody who is interested in becoming a young musician, we'd love to have them. The other thing we have going on right now is season subscriptions, which Nia will tell you more about in her day-to-day happenings. But go to LubbockSymphony.org/subscribe to subscribe now. That's the only way to secure your seat for the Jurassic Park live in concert. That's going to be a really great show to attend. If you know about our films live with concert, they're usually one of the first shows to sell out for us, so you want to get your tickets now. That's the music of John Williams. You're going to see the Jurassic Park movie. It's on Halloween. Bring your kids out. We're going to have activities. Would love to see y'all there. So again, LubbockSymphony.org/subscribe. But now we have the guest of the hour, Nia Threatt.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Molly?
Okay, Nia, I have been wanting to have this conversation with you for a while where you get to talk about how you got to this role, because you kind of touched on it last week with Eric Allen. But you not only are the Patreon Services Coordinator here at Lubbock Symphony, but you do a multitude of other things around town.
Indeed.
Yes. So let's start with what you do around town, and we'll talk about how you got there.
Okay. So let's see here. Where do I start? So first off, I'm a tech graduate. I went to tech from 2020 to 2024, getting my bachelor's in digital media and professional communications. And I actually have a minor in math and a certificate in game design. So with all of those combined, I was really gearing myself up to do something more in the game design and development, or even web design and development field. My vision for myself was probably going into some big tech company by a couple years out that I got from college. But then as I got closer in relationships with my educators and the different staff members at Texas Tech, I kind of was opened up more to the world of, I guess, other industries, but specifically higher education, and that will easily lend itself into nonprofits because they're always partnering up with nonprofits. So when I got jobs in a research institute, for example, the Institute for Studies in Pragmaticism at Texas Tech, that felt, not that I knew it already, but that felt more like a nonprofit than any other job that I had. And I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoy my time there. And I still actually do some part-time stuff there doing graphic design for them. But then after that, I got another long-term job at Tech working in the College of Media Communication with the business manager. I was essentially her assistant. So I worked a lot using like P cards and reconciliation and like accounts and stuff like that. Totally not related to what I do or what I got my degree in. However, I feel like it was a good skill to have, and it kind of geared me up even more for this role that I didn't even know was coming up. So then it's coming to my junior year. I'm looking for an internship, and Lubbock Symphony Orchestra marketing intern pops up, and I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Even though I hadn't technically done marketing, because that's in the business college, but kind of everything surrounding communications also to some degree taps into marketing, especially in MCOM. They will make you very well-rounded to pretty much conquer any task, whether that's strictly communications or marketing. You'll essentially know how to at least start. So I was like, you know what? It's a marketing internship. It's at the symphony. I've been really yearning to get back into music because I'm a band kid at heart. I played drums for 6 years. And I really wanted to play drums at Tech, but there's just no room in the studio. And my brother plays drums here, and some of my other friends play drums here. And I was just like, I miss it so much. So the opportunity of doing marketing at the symphony seemed like a good way to get music back into my day-to-day life. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go and do this interview, or at least apply and see what happens. And believe it or not, I got a call back from the interview within 2 hours. As I was walking to my job on Texas Tech campus, I got a call back from the director of marketing at the time offering me the marketing internship position. So I was like, oh yeah.
This was before my time there, but I heard that you pretty much crushed that interview.
The funniest part is that
they thought Nia was brilliant from the start.
I told myself that I was just going to be extremely transparent because, like I said, I had never done marketing before. But MCOM really boasts having these students that are very versatile. And so I went to that interview and I was very transparent. And Galen was sitting right there, our CEO. And I said, I'm going to keep it real with you. I have never done marketing before. I literally said that in the interview. But I also said, but I can learn anything. And I promise you that. And I think that moment of honesty, like, really stuck with him because he will bring that up even now. Yeah. So shout out Galen. Thank you so much. But after I became the marketing intern, I was actually only in that position for about a month before the box office position opened up, and they asked me if I wanted to interview. I was like, heck yeah, I love it here. I mean, it's great.
And I'm glad you were able to kind of share that part because it's the truth. That's what you always tell us nowadays. Like, I may not be able to, like, have, professional skills from education in this, but I'll learn to do something. And that kind of transitions to where we're at now. In your role as Patreon Services Coordinator, there was a little bit of a move up there, and you're in a spot that's really great because you're almost the liaison between the development team and the marketing team now.
Right.
You're technically one of the only staff members that's on both teams, the development team and the marketing team. So tell us more about what your day-to-day looks like at Lubbock Symphony. I know as our Patreons call in, you're the first individual that they speak to. A lot of them associate speaking with a staff member at Lubbock Symphony with speaking with you.
Right. My day-to-day at the symphony, well, before when it was just box office stuff, it was literally just box office stuff. If I am answering the phone calls, it's for tickets. I'll sell you a ticket, say thank you, and that's really it. Send a couple emails, but it's really like the day of the performance, the week of the performance, that's when it ramps up for me. However, now that I've gotten some more responsibility in development, my days are more in, I guess, like a data extraction and analysis sort of way. There's a lot of running reports. I was responsible for our data migration into a new donor system. So that has really opened my eyes to how complex that side, I guess, of development is, that more back end side, just to make sure that everything aligns and makes sense, and that at the same time we're keeping our patrons happy. Because when you're going through data all the time, it's easy for things to get, I guess, like sterile or a bit dehumanized. I have to remind myself sometimes, like, you're not just looking at names and numbers on a page. These names and numbers are associated with a real, like, physical being, and you have to make sure that you're making moves that will, not only make your life easier, but keep the patron satisfied and happy. So that's a very interesting part of development that I've been learning over the last year, is that dichotomy right there.
Yeah, and Nia's one of the main individuals at the office who's facilitating. Those of y'all who know, we have an annual fund at the Lubbock Symphony, and I'm really excited that this is kind of some of the stuff we get to share with y'all on the podcast outside of our regular season, because we're kind of in the summer period right now where we don't have concerts going on, but we're busier than ever still, because we're facilitating all of the things needed for the annual fund, which you'll see in every single one of our programs. Now we're adding annual fund to our website, and if you have a moment, go to our website and see all of the new benefits that we have coming into effect on July 1st. But Nia's the one that's kind of handling that transition as we've added more donor benefits. You're going to be seeing more benefits at lower levels, such as $125 and up. But yeah, that's one of the really fun things I think you get to handle at the office. But outside of the office, you're also around town a little. What are you doing outside of the office?
So I'm still in school, actually. I started a master's program at Texas Tech. Half of it is instructional design, and the other half is digital media, what I got my bachelor's in. So I've got that going on. I also still, like I said, do graphic design at the Institute on campus. And I also do things musically as well. And so, like I was mentioning earlier, I was really yearning to get back into the music scene constantly. But then I realized, like, I'm not going to be playing an instrument for real, because every instrument is so expensive. Like, so expensive. I'm sure violinists could boast about how much their violins cost. When I was in high school, we were playing on marimbas that were like $40,000.
Yeah.
Like, I could buy a new car with that. So obviously I'm not going to be playing an instrument. So I'm like, what else could I do? So I started DJing. So I've been DJing coming up on a year now, and it's been really gratifying to scratch that itch of just wanting to do something music related and be directly involved. So if you ever need a DJ, you can hit up DJ Say Hey on Instagram. I'll be at Clouds probably tomorrow on Friday. I could travel for gigs, and I play really any genre that you want. I just love playing music, so it makes me so happy to be able to do that and share it with so many people at the same time.
Yeah, and if you've ever attended one of our First Friday art trails and have seen a DJ, it's DJ Say Hey,
It's
Nia.
me.
She probably doesn't realize this yet, but we are going to ask her to do it next week, July 3rd. So
fantastic.
We hope to see Nia then. But yeah, Nia is just absolutely fantastic. And when she came into my office one day and said, I think I'm going to buy a board. And I said, I think you should.
Yep.
And I since then, she's just kind of taken off and been growing her name around town. And she recently DJ'd at our tribute with ABBA that we had at the pre-concert party with First Bank and Trust. And what did you do at that party? What were some of your favorite hits?
So at that party, obviously it was disco music, but I had to ask my mom. I asked actually Courtney and one of our sponsor for the event from First Bank and Trust, like, hey, is there any songs you absolutely need to have in here? But it was fun playing like Donna Summer and the Bee Gees and stuff like that. That was a really good time, even though I think that is honestly the quietest I have ever mixed music ever. Like, I was barely the little knob was barely up, because it was more conversational and not like a party where everyone's trying to get like super lit. So that was very interesting. And one funny thing about that set is that the party was only planned from, I believe, 6 to 7 or 6:15 to 7:15. It's supposed to be a 1-hour set. So I made about an hour and 20-minute long set, just in case there's a bit of, lag. However, I played that entire set front to back twice while we were there.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yes. Because I think I pressed play at like 5:00 and they didn't leave until 7:30 or something like that.
Oh, people were having a great time.
But I was like, they're totally going to notice I'm replaying these same songs. But then Galen told me to turn down the volume even more, because I guess people were really chatting.
And then I went and told you to turn it up.
Yes, I do remember that. And I was just like, well, whatever. They're just going to have to listen to Donna Summers again. It's going to be fine. It's just disco music. Like, they'll be okay. But that was a very interesting and alternative experience, because I've never done something so chill, I guess. But I like chill. Honestly, I've learned since I started DJing that I don't really like to DJ at clubs. Like, I'll just say it. I like to set a vibe. I'm more of like a lounge type of person.
Yeah.
Rather than, or like First Friday,
Yeah.
just keep some vibes going.
Yeah.
But not like, yeah, we're here to mosh. That's not really my vibe. But shout out to Molly, because if it wasn't for her, I'd probably still be learning how to DJ or just about to DJ. Molly was like, oh, you got the board? Okay, we have First Friday coming up. You think you'll be ready? And I'm not one to disappoint. So I said, yeah, Molly, I'll be ready. And she could talk about the stress that I experienced that week preparing for my very first set at First Friday.
I know. I found out that this was something Nia was interested in, and since then I haven't stopped. I'm, involved with other organizations around town, and anytime they say like, "Oh, we're looking for music," first thought I have is, "Oh, I have this DJ."
Like instantly, Molly will bring it up. But honestly, it's such a blessing to be surrounded with people that are like that, to just push you and be a catalyst for the things that you say that you want, but maybe, I mean, we're all like that, whether it's going to the gym or eating healthy or things like that. It's like, yeah, you say you want it, but are you really taking the strides to get there? Having someone like Molly in your life will make sure that you get there, no doubt.
Well, and I will say too, I'm glad you brought up, the other places that you're DJing at, because I have, Nia say, I invited Nia other places to DJ, and there's sometimes where Nia will say like, oh, she has a different creative process.
Yes.
You kind of touched on that
Yes.
during like having a talk with peers about music being needed for the ABBA tribute. What is the music that you're typically, doing on your time? What is the type of music you like to do?
This is a fun question. So like I said, I'll mix any genre because I pretty much listen to any genre. But my absolute favorite genres to mix are any of your, like, I guess alternative types of dance genres. So they're found in primarily Black communities all across the nation. So for example, Chicago has footwork. Florida has South Florida juke. There is a bounce in New Orleans. There is all types of kind of just subgenres of Black dance music that it's very percussive, very rhythmic, and just musically like satisfying to listen to in your ears. It's just fun, and it makes you want to get up and move. Other than that, I love mixing house. Some progressive house, some older 2000s house is just my jam, and also older like 90s drum and bass and jungle music. I just like stuff that keeps a vibe going. I don't like a hard stop and a hard end. I'm sure no DJ likes that, but I just like constant good grooves, good vibes. That's my thing.
Yes. Yeah. No, Nia has a really fun style, and I think in listening to Nia DJ at like First Friday Art Trail, I've picked up on new music. I've added some of her songs to my playlist, and every now and then I'll ask her to throw in like a Charlie XCX song or a Sabrina Carpenter, and she'll gladly do it, but she has to find a way to mix it in.
Sometimes it's a little difficult because, I can't neglect my musical ear, but if Molly asks me for Sabrina Carpenter, I will try my hardest to make it work.
Well, thanks so much, Nia.
Thank you.
Before we go, is there anything else coming up on your radar, or anything else happening for you that you wanted to share?
I will just say, if you were a donor, look out for a letter and an email hitting your inbox talking about those new benefits that Molly was mentioning earlier. Also, just renew your season tickets. I'm the one to call. I still have your seats pretty much saved, so just give me a call if you're kind of pondering about that, and we can get that all settled for you.
Yes, that number's 806-762-1688. Again, you want to make sure you get those Jurassic Park tickets now. They're going to go on sale to the general public on July 11th, or not July 17th, I believe.
Yeah.
July 17th, they go on sale. July 11th is when season subscriptions are done with. So get those tickets now. We'd love to have you there. It's going to be a great time. And just keep an eye out. If you don't subscribe to our emails, we just sent out a save the date for our New Year's Eve bash. So you'll hear more about that in the coming months. But we'd love to have y'all on December 31st?
31st on New Year's.
December 31st,
Yes.
New Year's. we are doing our first ever gala. So we'd love to see y'all there. Give us a call at the office to learn more or go to our website at lubbocksymphony.org/NYE Bash. Thanks so much for listening to ClefNotes podcast. We'll see you next week.